go along with the theme of my giveaway. This awesome butterfly velvet wallet I bought when I was 14, and I've had it obviously a long time. But and this is no longer the wallet that I use, but a couple years ago it was. And I lost this wallet, and I lost my passport the night before I was supposed to fly to Tokyo and go meet up with my husband, who was working there for several weeks. And I was just going to go by myself. My in-laws were watching my children. And anyway, I couldn't find them, and it got to be midnight, and I called over to my in-laws and I said, you know, did this fall out of my wallet or fall out of my purse? And please help yourself to peanut butter. This could be a disaster. I'm just gonna see what happens here. But anyway, I called and I said, you know, did you find it? Because I can't find it, and I need it. I can't go on my trip tomorrow. And I was, you know, I was so careful. Like, I was very proud of myself. I took my kids to the in-laws. Everything was packed. The house was cleaned, so that when I came back in 2 weeks, that it would be, you know, really nice and not disappointing and scary to come home to. And so. Now the fluff is getting out. The fluff for the fudge. Uh-oh. But anyway, so I prayed and I said, God, I'm really sorry. I apologize because I've gone about this whole trip in a very prideful way, and I was really just, you know, giving myself a pat on the back for being able to get everything done, and with so many kids and things to manage. Tom was already there, so I mean, I'd been on my own for a couple weeks already, and anyway, so I had torn the whole house apart, and I prayed, and I opened my eyes, and I looked in my purse again, and there was that blue velvet butterfly wallet and my passport, and I just sat there and I cried, and I said, you know, God, I just give this whole trip to you because I can't even get out the door. I think I can do everything, and I really can't. I don't even breathe without you. So I said, you know, thank you for forgiving me, and I give this trip to you, and whatever you want me to do, just open my eyes, let me see it. And I got there, and I got on the plane, and everything seemed to be going very smoothly. And I was pregnant with Micah, and I had requested an aisle seat so that I could get up if I needed to. I was still kind of in that pukey stage. And it was, I didn't get an aisle seat. I got a row, in a row of four, I got the one second, like one of the ones in the middle, the one on the right. I thought, wow, this is great. I have pretty much the whole row to myself. There was a guy on the other end. And then, you know, it's like final boarding call, and everyone was rushing in, and then all of a sudden they let two people on the plane, and of all the places, they sat right next to me. This woman, she lifted up the armrest next to me and sat down and like squished me against my right armrest, so I lifted that up. And then this guy came running from the front of the plane, and he started to stow his big instrument, whatever it was, above my head. And I looked up, and his whole mouth was black. I mean, like his teeth were all rotten, and you could just, his mouth, his breath just smelled like death. And it made me feel sick. I mean, I was pregnant, so it was even worse than normal. And he sat down next to me, and of course I had the armrest up so that I even had a place to sit, and this woman like had me squished up against him. And at that moment, the flight attendant walked by, and she looked at me and she said, Sarah, or she didn't know my name, she looked at me and she goes, are you okay? You don't look very good. And I'm like, well, I am pregnant, and I did request an aisle seat, and you know, I'm sitting here, and I just would like to be able to use the bathroom if I feel sick. And she's like, well, just one moment. And she's like, okay, I have a seat for you. And she put me in the very back of the plane, which, by the way, is a great place to travel if you are traveling with kids. It's usually what I reserve automatically because it's right by the bathrooms, it's right by where the flight attendants are, and it's kind of away from people. So that's my traveling tip. If you're traveling with a number of kids and you want a little bit of privacy in a good spot, the back of the plane is good. Anyway, it was a seat in the very back row, and it was one of two seats, and I sat next to a man who was from China, and he was telling me he was a scientist studying climate change, and he said that he was visiting his family, and that the Chinese government would not allow his wife to come with him because they didn't want him to leave to America and stay there. Um, and so he was going back to see his wife, and he had with him all the photos from his trip from the relatives that they had seen in the United States. And I just sat there and I was like, hi, just small chat. And then we got into our flight, and I started reading my Bible, and he goes, is that a Bible? I was like, yeah. He goes, wow, do you mind if I look at it? I'm like, no, go ahead. And he said, are you a Christian? And I said, yeah. And um, so he said, well, I'm a Christian too. And I was like, wow, really? And he said, yes, but I can't be baptized because I still smoke cigarettes. And I said, there's nowhere in the Bible that says if you smoke cigarettes that you cannot be baptized. And I said, if there are things that God is convicting you about, then you need to work on them. If there's something in the Bible that's, if God says that it's sinful, you need to work on it. But you can be baptized if you smoke cigarettes. And he was like, no, that's not what my teacher said. So I showed him Acts 16:31, and it was really cool. So he saw that, and we just read the Bible for a while together. And then this woman, a couple seats in front of me, she turned around and she said, I just can't. The guy had gotten up to use the bathroom, and she said, I just can't believe how you just candidly sharing your faith. And she said, I must tell you, I'm on my way to Guam. My brother died, and when I left, I had said some angry things to my parents, and now I'm going back, and I'm trying to comfort them, and I've become a Christian, and I'm really scared, and I want you to pray that I'll have courage to share the gospel with them, because it's really helped me to get through this hard time, and they need to know Christ. So I shared in the verse, because she was talking about her sadness, and I shared the verse in Psalms about how God knows how many tears we've cried and how he keeps our tears in a bottle. And she just started crying and thanked me, because she was thinking that emotions and crying was not a Christian thing to do. And so we talked about that, and it was great. And then the guy behind her was on his way to the Philippines. He's like, okay, I just have to share. He said, I'm on my way to the Philippines, and I was wondering if you could pray for me, because we're starting a new orphanage there. And I was just wondering if you could, just pray that things go well. And my wife is there, and I brought back some things from the States, and I'm, returning to go help her with that project. So we prayed. And then while we were praying, I guess the flight attendant walked over, and we opened our eyes, and she was standing there, and she said, I noticed you guys were praying, and I noticed you had your Bible out, and I was wondering if you could just pray for me. I lost my favorite silver bracelet, and it was from my grandmother, and it's somewhere on this plane, and I can't find it. Would you please pray? And we prayed, and she found it and brought it back to show it to us. And it was just such a cool thing, and I really believe that, that God had wanted me to be in that exact seat, and all of those little events that led up to it. It was all certainly, it was all God, and but it wouldn't have happened if I didn't lose my wallet, and if I hadn't have put my heart in the right place and asked God to forgive me. And so I hope that story of losing something and finding it again is of encouragement, because that was the whole point of the contest, was sharing stories about things that were lost, things that were found, and how they affected you. So anyway, hope you like that story. It's one of my favorites to share. It's a bit long. I'll probably have to break it to 2 videos just to include it all. But anyway, thanks a lot for stopping by. Thanks for watching today. And if I can ever be of encouragement to you, please let me know. That's why I'm even really online at all, is to connect with people and to learn from all of you, and to be of encouragement. So wherever you are in this world, have a great day, have a great night, and we'll be in touch. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.